actually get like little things right there.
Yeah. Oh, hey. That's not correct.
No,
Hey, everybody.
There is no Ben right here.
No, he's not here.
Does not exist.
No, I think that might just be there right now. We'll deal with it. What's up, everybody? It's Dave and Johnny Live. I'm Dave. He's Johnny.
How's everyone
Try
doing?
that again. Nope, still there.
Oh.
Oh, well. Well.
Invisible Ben.
Yeah, he's not here, but you get the gist.
The @Ringside Report works on Twitter.
Yeah, just go to @Ringside Report on Twitter and Instagram as well. That's a thing.
Say, where's Ben? There you go.
Yeah, where is he? I don't know. What do we have on Dave and Johnny Live today? We have a big show, right? We're going to preview NXT TAKEOVER 25. I'm excited about this. I like this new turn of Dave and Johnny Live where we're talking about wrestling on this show, too. It used to be kind of a different type of show, and I think we're still going to cover some 90 Day Fiancé, right? You watch 90 Day Fiancé.
I did.
So we'll talk about that on the show today. But last week on this show, we previewed the AEW Double or Nothing card. We have that show available on our YouTube channel. We have the AEW post show that we did as well, available on our YouTube channel. I know a lot of you joined us for that, so thank you very much. That show was did well. It was all good. So AEW was a lot of fun. Double or Nothing was really cool. Jon Moxley, the Mox, back in business. And then we have a little fix there. See that, John?
Nice.
See? Everything's fixed. Everything gets fixed as the show goes on.
Cool.
So all of that stuff is available on our YouTube channel. You can like, subscribe, and comment on the video. Much appreciated. Double or Nothing in the books. The wrestling world is on fire.
I think the main thing is the fact that he's on Jericho's podcast, and a lot of people are talking about that because he pretty much said what he wasn't happy about in WWE, his last run, how he didn't like the scripted promos and how he was just miserable and he couldn't wait to leave. But he also said like he was kind of happy too because like he got married because of WWE. He met his wife in WWE, so it's not like it was all bad.
No, definitely not. Dean Ambrose, a.k.a. Jon Moxley, was on Jericho's podcast this week. I've listened to it. I listened to it actually a couple of times.
Wow.
Yeah, I just wanted to get all the points. I thought it was a real fascinating chat. He said a lot of things. He said a lot of mean things about Vince. He called him an old man. He said he basically said Vince has to go. For the WWE to get better, to improve, he said Vince either has to step down or they have to change the way that they operate creatively. The whole infrastructure of how the WWE works needs to change. And that's not anything new, right? Like what he said wasn't anything new, wasn't anything that we haven't been saying on Wrestling Uncensored for years. The way that their promos are scripted and these guys are supposed to read lines verbatim going out there in the middle of the ring with a microphone.
He's not an actor. He said that.
Exactly. He's not an actor. These guys aren't actors, and that's why the product comes off so hokey, because they're not actors, and they're given these lines, and a lot of times it's the same people that are writing the lines for all the characters, too. That's something that Ambrose didn't really bring up, but it's something that I've noticed a lot in the WWE where all the characters kind of sound like they're coming with the same voice. Like they all kind of seem the same. They're different versions of the same character, and it's not a varied wrestling product right now.
Definitely Raw and SmackDown, you can see like it seems like it's the same thing, but just kind of tweaked a little bit, and they do that a lot.
Yeah. So it feels very repetitive and very much like it's coming from the same place, and the reason for that is it is coming from the same place, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's a problem. The fact that the characters themselves, the wrestlers themselves aren't given the creative license to do their own promos, to come up with their own lines, their own catchphrases, their own stuff. Of course they are allowed sometimes. Sometimes you're able to get that stuff through, but you have to get it through. You have to work. You have to stand by Vince's office and wait and push with Vince and argue with Vince and have these meetings, whereas you know, in the new wrestling company, All Elite Wrestling, they seem more open to kind of let you do your thing. You know, they're good with you go out, you cut your promos, we have these storylines we need to get to, and this is the way Vince used to operate. Like the WWE, the WWF, really. WWE hasn't worked this way. WWE has kind of always been scripted promos, you read it, and this is where you're going. The WWF, you know, which is the same company, but it used to be you were given bullet points. You were given, okay, you know, Stone Cold Steve Austin needs to get across that he's wrestling Kane at whatever, No Mercy.
Right.
And, you know, here's one line that you really need to put out there because it's very important for you to say this.
Usually the place.
The place or whatever, or a certain line that Vince wants you to say. You know, there might be one or two lines, but it's not the whole promo written out for you. It's like, okay, here are your points you need to get across. Go out and do it.
That's for most promotions I wrestle for. It's like that. It's usually bullet points for promo like that. But say what you want, but we need this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's how it is for pretty much every wrestling promotion in the world. Except for WWE.
No, for them it's word for word, verbatim. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it makes for a very bland product. It makes for a very monotone show. And it's boring. And it's not working, and the wrestlers themselves are frustrated with it. You always say, you know, the WWE even themselves, they push this line. The best characters are themselves with the volume turned all the way up, pal. Right? That's what they would say.
Not pal, but yeah.
Right? They'd say, the best guys, it's you with the volume turned all the way up. The Rock is Dwayne Johnson just really amplified. Steve Austin is Steve Austin amplified. Stone Cold, you know?
Of course.
How are you supposed to get the real person with the volume turned all the way up if you're telling them who they are, you're giving them stuff they don't want, and you're writing every single word that they're supposed to say? How does that ever come across? And it doesn't, right? It doesn't. The only times it has in recent history is when the guys themselves were able to get over despite the WWE. Like CM Punk was given that time at the end of Raw to do that pipe bomb promo. They weren't sure what he was going to say.
Right.
He was able to go out there and speak as Phil Brooks with the volume turned all the way up, and it worked, and he had a massive run. Daniel Bryan is Bryan Danielson with the volume turned all the way up. Yep. Sometimes some guys get to do it. But obviously not everybody does. Not even a guy like Dean Ambrose, who you thought was a top guy in the company who would be given a lot of creative license. I was surprised that Ambrose was given so little input on his character. I felt a little bit bad for blaming him for all these terrible promos he's been cutting over the past 8 years. It's not his fault, apparently.
Well, it's just amazing that, like, with some guys like Jericho, like you said, they can pretty much get their input and kind of change the promo around, where he just couldn't. And that's kind of strange and baffling, where it's like you don't trust him enough to do a promo? Why'd you hire him? Like, I don't understand that.
And I remember when he started, like, the promos were something that people were talking about with him. You remember when before he was in the Shield, he had, like, a deal with Mick Foley?
Of course.
And people were talking like, man, this guy can cut a promo. This guy's going to be the next top promo guy for WWE. Never really happened.
Well, no, they forced it anyways. I mean, but it just wasn't that good. And, like, you saw through it, but they pushed it as that regardless.
It was an interesting chat from Dean Ambrose.
It was.
It was illuminating to hear what it's like for him, what it has been like for him working in the WWE. I would think that it would be like that for a lot of guys, but not Dean Ambrose. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he's in the Shield. Like, him, Roman, Seth, they're kind of the main guys in WWE. If he's that pissed off with the company, oof.
To me,
you wonder, right? Like, how's Seth feeling, you know?
Yeah, but I think a lot of them gotten used to it, and they accept the fact this is the way things are, and I think they've gotten accustomed to it. I think with Seth, especially, we saw some horrific Seth Rollins promos in the past. Remember the leg tucked between your legs kind of promos, like what he used to do? But they kept trying and trying.
Roman Reigns had to say "suffer and succotash" on TV one time, right? I mean, that was obviously Vince.
There's been some really bad stuff, but...
Think about the Usos and all the stuff they're doing with the Revival and Usi Hot and the shower, back shaving, you know? It's stupid. It's bad. No one wants to watch this stuff.
But with them, they don't mind it. They're like, fine, you want me to do it, I'll do it. You know, I'll be...
That's what you think, because you haven't heard them on Jericho's podcast yet.
Well, they can't go on Jericho's podcast because they're banned from Jericho's podcast, WWE people. So
well, yeah.
You're not going to hear them.
Well, no. What I'm saying is Dean Ambrose isn't going to be the last guy to leave.
Unfortunately.
When your contracts are up, are you going to renew with WWE? Dean Ambrose even said, WWE, if they would have offered me $10 million, I still would have turned it down.
It's pretty crazy.
He's like, if they would have given me Brock Lesnar money, who he said, by the way, is ruining Vince's company.
It's questionable, but all right.
But this is Dean Ambrose saying it. This is a top guy in WWE.
This is a guy who had a horrible match with Brock, so I understand that he'd feel that way.
He did not have a good experience with Brock. But he said he didn't even look at the contract that they offered him. They offered him a deal. He didn't even look at it. He was so depressed and disgusted with his experiences in WWE, he wanted out, no matter what. He was gone. And now he's going to wrestle in New Japan Pro Wrestling on June the 5th. That will be his first match outside of WWE in 8 years. June 5th at the Best of the Super Juniors final. It's coming up on Wednesday. He's going to wrestle Juice Robinson for the IWGP United States Championship. And I kind of think he's going to win. He's like the hottest name in wrestling right now. Which is big for him. Huge for him. Like, you think about Dean Ambrose and where he was. He was kind of squeezed in the middle. Like, Seth was a guy. Roman was a guy. Ambrose was just kind of the other guy.
But still over, though. Still
over, but not going to be pushed to the top level like Roman and Seth. Like right now, Raw is Seth's show. SmackDown is Roman's show.
Right.
You know, Ambrose wouldn't get his own show.
No, you're right, yeah.
He goes to AEW. He goes to New Japan. All of a sudden, he's a much bigger deal.
Well, I think he's happier. That's the main thing. I think he'd still be a big deal. They still would have put. I mean, he was leaving, and they still pushed him, which was kind of crazy. And even he didn't understand why they were still pushing him, but they still pushed him.
Yeah.
So that was interesting.
Which he thought was weird, and he didn't really understand either. But what started happening was he explained it like the Nia Jax thing, right?
Well, he thought it was a burial, right?
Didn't you?
But it never happened, though. Like,
so Dean Ambrose tells the WWE that he is going to leave the company. Like, the next night, Nia Jax is, like, pushing him around, and he's getting tossed around by Nia Jax.
I actually like that promo because he did the EC1, EC2 thing. That was good.
It was a good promo.
And that was more enlightening. I thought we talked about EC3 and how he's gotten buried in WWE. And it's like, well, that makes perfect sense, actually.
Why?
Because apparently EC3 didn't get the right reactions during the match, and then they switched it the other way around, made him a heel, and they pretty much punished him for it.
Right. So... But it wasn't really his fault.
But he gets the punishment because they gave him a spot.
So what happened was Ambrose starts getting pushed around by Nia Jax. And Ambrose is like one of the strongest male wrestlers in WWE. And women and men don't really interact in WWE on a physical level. All of a sudden they do. Nia Jax was in the Royal Rumble the night before. Yeah. But then all of a sudden Ambrose, he gets pushed by Nia Jax, tossed out of the ring or something the night after the match.
Pushed or something, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So Ambrose sees this as, oh, the WWE knows I'm leaving. They're burying me now. They're having me getting beat up by Nia Jax. So the fans feel the same way. So Ambrose loses to EC3 in like 2 minutes. So the fans are really feeling like Ambrose is getting buried. Ambrose goes to the house shows, and they start booing EC3 and cheering Ambrose, even though Ambrose is supposed to be the heel.
Yeah.
but they're cheering Ambrose because they feel like WWE is screwing him the way they're booking him on the way out, because they know. And WWE should have been smart enough to figure this out. Like, you announce on your website that he's leaving the company, and then you have him lose in 2 minutes and get beat up by Nia Jax. Like, what do you think the fans are going to do? You think they're going to be like, oh, yeah, WWE, you buried Dean Ambrose? Yeah, no, they're going to say, what are you doing? This is what you do? This is how you treat guys on the way out? This isn't cool. And they're going to cheer Dean Ambrose. He's going to become a martyr, and that's what they created. And they got mad about that. So then they turned to babyface. And they had no choice at that point. And they're like, well, I guess we're going to turn him babyface. He'll still lose. He'll put over our heels like Drew McIntyre. But we'll use him on the way out. We won't bury him. We won't disappear him. I thought they should have disappeared him. Like, that's what I would have done if I were the WWE. I'd be like, oh, okay, Dean Ambrose, you're not gonna be around anymore. Well, that's fine. Stay home. Sit your contract out. I wouldn't have used him, because then he stays on TV, he stays relevant, and it's more impressive when he does show up for AEW. I mean, it would have been still a big deal showing up after sitting out your contract, but using him the way they did, I thought was bizarre.
Do we bring up the conspiracy theory now?
Do you want to?
I don't know if you want to go there or not. It's up to you here. Like, do you believe in it? But I don't know if I fully believe it, but I'm like, there are some holes here, and it's like some things don't add up. Like, why was there an AEW mentioning on Raw? That didn't make a lot of sense. And I don't believe in the excuse where it's like it was scripted, but Vince is mad. None of that makes sense.
What are we talking about here?
We're talking about Vince Russo saying that AEW and WWE are in cahoots together.
Yeah. I don't believe it. I think it's ridiculous.
There are holes, though.
Where are the holes? Okay, so Vince Russo, an ex-WWE writer, a guy who not a lot of people like in the pro wrestling business.
A lot of people hate him.
Because he's a big liar. He's just a big liar, and he's full of BS. So he says that what? Vince owns AEW?
Yeah, I don't know if I believe in that. I believe in the cahoots thing, but I don't know about owning, because like they're a publicly traded company. I mean, you can't hide that.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make sense. But them maybe like helping each other out, maybe, possibly. There's some holes here.
Like a working relationship?
Possibly. Why was there a mention of AEW on Raw?
Well, AEW is kind of a wide open company, right? Like, AEW has some of their guys working there and then working for New Japan and working for different indies.
Right.
Not everybody is exclusive to AEW.
It's interesting that they have that.
It's not out of the realm of possibility that they would have a working relationship with the WWE. It is highly doubtful. WWE doesn't work with other promotions. They have in the past. I don't buy it at all.
The fact Triple H mentioned it at the Hall of Fame as well. I mean,
what did he mention? What did he say?
He pretty much said that pissant company that you're going to, Billy.
Whatever.
Yeah, I know it's whatever, but
and that I think is the real attitude of the WWE. I think they see it as a pissant company, and they don't respect it.
But they acknowledge its existence. It's kind of surprising.
Well, it's in the wrestling business. People are talking about it. Word is it got 98,000 buys on pay-per-view, which is good.
For first one, it's fantastic.
It's good. But it's not, it's not anything to scare Vince McMahon.
No, but it's a good first start for sure. That's what I thought the pay-per-view was, a good first start.
But they're not affiliated. So Sami Zayn said AEW on Raw.
They got the best reaction on anything on Raw, did it not?
I don't know.
They got most people talking. Crowd in the house was talking the most.
People were talking about it. People started chanting AEW. Do you really see that as such a big deal? I mean, it's the biggest thing going on in wrestling. It just happened that weekend. I knew the WWE was going to respond in some kind of way. It was obvious that the WWE was going to say something. They couldn't ignore it. They couldn't ignore it, and their way of doing it was having Sami Zayn do that line about AEW. The WWE's response to AEW was obvious on the show. I mean, they had Corey Graves. They gave him a new talk show segment. They're trying things.
Trying.
Not great.
Yeah.
The electric chair with Corey Graves. So it's like a mock electric chair that they sit in a ring, which is real nice because, like, you know what electric chairs are used for? Killing people. That's what you want in your wrestling ring. That's cool. And then the WWE Universe can ask questions to the superstars that are in the chair, no matter how controversial. Like, that was their response. And Sami Zayn said AEW on that thing. That's where they're going to try and be a little edgy. It's lame. It's not edgy. It's not working. And maybe it's because the whole creative team has to change. I don't know. I think the way they operate has to change.
I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. I think they're pretty happy staying the course because they're still making money. It's not like WWE's losing that much. Maybe in terms of the house shows, and SmackDown attendance looks awful every week. But I think besides that, I'm pretty sure they're making money doing all the shows that they do.
Of course. WWE is a very profitable company right now. They're making tons of money. They're going to Saudi Arabia.
$40 million for that.
Yeah. Great. Roman Reigns was defending that deal this week. Did you see that?
I thought he was against it. What happened?
Yeah, I thought he was against it too. What happened? I mean, we could get in on Wrestling Uncensored, but he spoke to Newsweek about Saudi Arabia. Here's the direct quote. It gets a lot of mixed and negative reactions. The bottom line for me is, if we're going to help promote change, if we're going to set out to make an impact, then I have to be a part of it. I'm not going to sit on the sideline and talk about how we can get there. I want to be a part of the action. I look at it as being a part of the solution while still respecting cultures. But it's a big world and I want to experience all of it. So if we can help make a positive impact, that's what we're here to do. We're here to put smiles on everyone's faces. We don't discriminate, but the Saudi government does. That's our goal, to help and promote positivity and take that to every inch of the world.
Wow.
Direct from WWE corporate Roman Reigns. Speaking to Newsweek about going to Saudi Arabia. He'll be there wrestling Shane McMahon, the promoter's 50-year-old son. We see more and more of him because they think that's the answer. Vince thinks, things are going bad, pal. Let's give him more Shane. It's like, what?
He's on Raw and SmackDown every week. He's wrestling, too.
Fuck off, man. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
I like the music.
Sami Zayn's not allowed to go to Saudi Arabia because he's of Syrian descent. And Roman Reigns is like, we're going to promote change. We're putting smiles on faces. Come on, Roman. Come on, man. You're the big dog. You're the leader of the company. Be a leader. Be a real leader. Stop being the corporate yes man that you are. That's why Roman is in the spot he's in, because he's a corporate yes man. Who wants that?
He does, obviously.
Wrestling fans don't respect a guy like that. That's why he's not the top babyface in the company. It's shit like this.
If he's not top babyface, who's top babyface?
AJ Styles?
Yeah,
AJ Styles doesn't say anything because you don't want to hear what AJ Styles says. What AJ Styles says is probably worse.
He's fortunate.
The gay community.
He's fortunately injured right now, so he won't be there.
And you could Google AJ Styles, the gay community. Just a hilarious clip of AJ Styles.
I feel like he dropped the F-bomb one time.
Oh, yeah. The bad F-bomb,
yeah,
too. Not the F-bombs I dropped. The other ones. Oh, AJ Styles. He's another story. But he's a babyface because he keeps his mouth shut. Nobody asks him questions about Saudi Arabia.
Or the Flat Earth stuff.
Or
but you
Flat
do.
Earth.
Yeah. You get upset about that. Yeah.
Well, Daniel
great
Bryan's
face.
the top babyface in the company for me, okay? He always has been and he always will be. Daniel Bryan was the top babyface as soon as he walked in the doors, and he's still the top babyface. You know who else is the top babyface? Kevin Owens.
The most hated guys in the company.
Kevin
Heels.
Owens, Sami Zayn, and Daniel Bryan.
All heels.
In my world, they're the 3 top babyfaces. I like them the most. They're my favorite guys because I like them. I like who they are. I like how they wrestle. I like how they cut promos. And I like what they stand for.
All right, I respect that.
They're not going to Saudi Arabia.
Unfortunately.
Those are guys I respect.
It's really
very much.
It's going to take away from the show not having those guys there for sure.
Well, yeah, I got to sit through Dolph Ziggler and Kofi Kingston. I got to sit through Baron Corbin and Seth Rollins. I got to sit through The Undertaker and Bill Goldberg.
Who are going to be on Raw and SmackDown this week. You're not excited for that?
No.
Oh,
so
man.
Wrestling Uncensored this week, definitely listen to the show because it will be our Super Showdown preview.
I know a lot of people are excited for that.
Get ready for the Super Showdown preview this week coming up on the YouTube channel here on Wrestling Uncensored. This is Dave and Johnny Live. I know we have a lot of comments. We have a lot of people in the chat room. I see you guys.
Is AJ there?
AJ is there. You want to check on some comments here before we move on to the NXT preview?
What's AJ up to this time?
Let's see what AJ's up to.
Retire Vince.
Retire. Antoinette says retire Vince. Franco says money talks and walks. Wally says, but the Saudi government does. You like that line? They do discriminate, right? Roman's like, we don't discriminate. Yeah, but the Saudis do. Becky Lynch can't perform there. Women are not allowed to wrestle there. And the WWE is still doing a show there.
I think AJ's spot on about that Brock thing.
AJ says Brock Lesnar, babyface bully. He is a babyface bully.
Yeah. Perfect, yeah.
Rocking with the Brock. You know,
I didn't like that he turned it around, though. It's like, what are you doing?
I like that he had different music.
Oh, that was so weird. I thought that was a botch, but I guess it wasn't a botch that was supposed to happen. That was so weird.
That was weird.
I didn't get it.
They changed the briefcase. I thought Brock Lesnar was hilarious this week. I like funny Brock.
The swearing Brock is great.
Yeah. Seth Rollins, screw you. I got a year? I didn't know I had a year. How could you not know? I don't know. What do I know? I'm not watching this stupid show. You think I follow the Money in the Bank rules? I follow Brock Lesnar's rules. Fuck this show. Oh, Brock was hilarious this week.
Antoinette with an interesting comment right there.
Women shouldn't go to Saudi. She says it's not safe. I mean, women live in Saudi Arabia, so I think it's safe.
Renee Young?
Renee is going to Saudi Arabia. She went last time, and she was all right.
As long as she was covered, she's okay.
Did she wear a headscarf for
I think
commentary?
she has to wear black, and her hands have to be covered for whatever.
All her skin has to be covered.
Yeah.
But she doesn't necessarily have to wear a headscarf, right?
No. She probably has, yeah, like you said, be accompanied. We didn't see it, but I imagine.
Let them wrestle. I'd be a lot happier with this deal if the women were allowed to wrestle there. The fact that they're advertising this as good, if not better, than WrestleMania, and your WrestleMania main event isn't allowed to wrestle there is disgusting.
Yeah, that's kind of rough. But
it's shameful. It's something that'll follow the WWE for the rest of its life. Like, the WWE will never live this down. This will always be a thing that people bring up about the WWE. Hey, remember when they went to Saudi Arabia and the women weren't allowed to go? Yeah, that was crazy. Remember when Sami Zayn wasn't allowed to go to Saudi Arabia?
But it'll all be worth it if, in the end, they will be allowed to. They just got through the dark period. That's it.
Like, the WWE is really promoting change. Like, this is the WWE. You believe what Roman Reigns is telling you? You're believing the Roman Reigns corporate lies?
They want to believe it. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but they want to believe that's going to happen. And that's what they're trying to promote to everybody.
No, that's bullshit, and you know it. They don't want to believe that's going to happen. They don't care. They're taking the money. This is a financial deal. Everybody's getting paid. The Saudis have a lot of money. They're giving it to Vince. Vince is handing it out to Goldberg and Taker and Roman and whoever else, and they're shutting their mouth and they're going. Kevin Owens and Daniel Bryan aren't going to take that dirty money. John Cena didn't want to do it only because
Hurts John Cena.
it hurt him in a PR type of way. He went there the first time, no problem.
Put them over.
Put them over, did a whole speech about how they're being
Great hosts.
and how they're promoting change and all this bullshit.
It's fantastic.
But then he realized, hey, I got a movie career going. And one of his agents or his PR people are like, John, if you want to work in Hollywood, you can't go wrestle in Saudi Arabia. John Oliver just talked about you. You need to be careful.
I think it was the Oliver piece that really
the John Oliver thing where they made fun of John Cena.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, yeah, okay. I'm not going then. Cool. No problem.
I killed that.
Yeah. I want to make movies. My movie career is way more important than this like short-term money in Saudi Arabia. Like, okay, Vince is going to pay me $5 million for this one shot. But I could make $50 million doing these Fast and Furious movies, so I'm going to do that instead. You see, Cena's going to do a Fast and Furious movie with the Dwayne?
I wouldn't be surprised because they're doing like side spin-off things now, so they need guys for that.
Dwayne versus Cena, thrice in a lifetime.
Yep, in the movies now.
In the movies now. Unbelievable. It is unbelievable to me that they're doing this. And they're going to keep doing it.
For years and years.
You think at some point, do you believe them that at some point during this deal with the Saudi government, the women will be allowed to go and wrestle?
I think, if it happens, it happens. That's the way they're going to look at it. I mean, it's not a big end of the world for them if they don't get the women to go. It's just, oh, well, they can't go.
Okay, but you're saying, oh, they're there to promote change and they're putting smiles on people's faces. And if they keep doing their wrestling matches there, eventually the Saudi government will let women wrestle too.
Maybe. I mean, Renee wasn't there the first time. She was out a second time. So there was change in a sense.
Was she even on the commentary team the first time they went?
No. But second time she was.
Yeah, but she wasn't. I'm saying she wasn't on the Raw commentary team back then.
That's good. But maybe NXT. She was in NXT at least.
Yeah, but that's no reason to bring her up to pay-per-view.
That's a good point, I suppose. There is somewhat change. Renee was there. We weren't expecting Renee. She was there. So maybe one day you'll see women wrestle. It's not impossible.
Yeah.
They're driving now, right? Wasn't that the change?
Oh, hey!
Baby steps here. Baby steps. Come on.
Hey, just imprison people and kill them.
Things happen. It's bad life sometimes.
Yeah, for political opposition. That's how they treat you. That's good. You got no problem with that? That's fine. Sami Zayn not allowed to go because he's of Syrian descent. That's okay with you?
That's rough.
It'd be too dangerous to go. They might kill him.
Well, yeah.
If Sami Zayn goes to Saudi Arabia, he might not come back.
Yeah, I wouldn't want him to go because of that. Yeah, don't go. If they're going to kill you, don't go.
Oh, but the rest of the boys can go. That's fine.
They're safe. People want to see them wrestle. They don't want to see Sami Zayn wrestle. It sucks. It's a terrible situation. But...
If we were doing a podcast, right? If we were doing a YouTube show, okay?
All right.
They wanted Wrestling Uncensored.
That'd be cool.
They wanted the whole crew. They wanted, Green Phantom there. They wanted you. They want Fred. They want AJ. Marco, everybody.
Wow.
But not me because I'm Jewish.
I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. Right. It makes sense.
I'm not saying Saudi Arabia. I'm saying some country.
Okay.
Not me because I'm Jewish. Are you going?
How much they paying us?
A lot. A really good payday. Are you going?
Wow, it's a really good payday. We would talk about it.
Kevin Owens isn't going. Kevin Owens is a better friend to Sami Zayn than you are to me. Is that what you're telling me?
That's a rough thing.
Is that what you're telling the man wearing your T-shirt?
That's a rough thing to say. That's very rough. That's harsh, actually. It's really.
Well, are you taking the payday, John?
We'd have to talk about it. I'm just saying.
AJ, are you taking the payday?
I think AJ's definitely taking the payday.
If they won't allow me into the country for one reason or another, because I'm French Canadian or something, right?
Aren't we all screwed? But
well, are you French Canadian?
like born here, born in Quebec.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
like, do you have, you know what I mean?
I guess not, but still, like if they just look in terms of where you're born, I mean.
Okay, well, let's say whatever. It's a racial thing.
Okay.
Okay, like it is with Sami Zayn. It's because he's of Syrian descent. They won't let
Right.
him go. You're going if they won't let me go to do a show?
We would talk about it because does this help the show if we go? I mean, you're the host, right? So doesn't that kind of change the dynamic? It's not the same kind of show then.
I don't know. It's different. I think AJ's going.
Of course he would go. I wouldn't doubt that for a second.
AJ's talking about circumcision. I don't know why. Oh, AJ's saying he's not going for the money. See, John is like actually thinking this over and wondering. Antoinette's even saying she wouldn't go.
Wow, AJ wouldn't go. Wow, I'm surprised.
Everybody's counseling you to stick with your friend.
We would talk about it. That's what I'm saying. Like it would be open for discussion.
Wow.
I wouldn't say I'd go for sure.
You are money hungry.
No, I said we talk about it. That's it.
I'm a bit sad.
You shouldn't be. Like, would it benefit the show? That's a huge question.
Does the Super Showdown benefit the WWE?
I think in the end it does.
Why?
Because look at the profit.
Because they have more money that they can spend on wrestlers that don't want to wrestle there?
You're giving fans dream matches that they never got
Kenny
to see.
Omega, we're going to offer you more money than you've ever seen in your life. You want to come wrestle here? No, that's cool. Chris Jericho, do you want to come back and wrestle here? No. Hey, Dean Ambrose, you want to renew your contract? We're going to offer you so much money. I don't even want to look at it. Stay away.
Look how spectacular the first one was, the Greatest Royal Rumble. That was amazing. It looked fantastic. The pyro that they had there, it looked better than WrestleMania.
It's good pyro. It's good pyro.
It looked better than WrestleMania.
The production value is really nice. The WWE does a really good job. No way. Jose. No way. Jose. He'll be in the Battle Royal. He's taking the money. You can't fault No Way Jose. He's got no stroke. You know,
well,
if No Way Jose says, look, I'm not going, well, you're fired, No Way Jose. You know, you'll never see No Way Jose again. Daniel Bryan and Kevin Owens, they're able to say, no way, Jose, I'm not going. You know, Roman Reigns also has the ability to do that. A lot of the guys have the ability to do that.
But he doesn't.
Roman, Seth, you know.
He doesn't.
Those types of guys could say, I'm not going.
But he doesn't, and he's the locker room leader. So how does that look to everybody when your locker room leader is like, yeah, we should go for this for change, and then you say no? You're kind of going against the main guy.
Yeah, well, Daniel Bryan is above him.
Well, I'm sure Daniel Bryan is like, whatever to that, of course.
What does he care?
But if you're No Way Jose and you go against him,
yeah,
that really hurts you a lot.
That's it. But if you're Kevin Owens and you go against him, whatever.
Politics huge in this.
Yeah. It's a political issue.
Well, backstage too. Like, yeah.
NXT TakeOver 25. You wanted to get to it here?
This looks fantastic, by the way, NXT TakeOver 25. It's pretty cool that it's just TakeOver. There's no WWE pay-per-view the next day.
It's strange.
Well, because we're supposed to get Backlash, but they changed it because of this Saudi Arabia event. So, yeah. But
was it Backlash or was it Road Rash or what's it called?
Stomping Grounds.
Road
Rash. Wow.
What's Road Rash?
I think
wasn't that like a
Roadblock?
Wasn't there like a 64 game called Road Rash?
Crash Bash? There was a game called that.
Road Rash N64. Tremendous game.
I never played that one.
Right here.
I played Crash Bash.
Very good. It was I had this game. Yeah, see, that's why I'm saying Road Rash. It was a really good game. You were on motorcycles and you were like racing around, and you also had bats, I think.
Wow.
I think this was the game with the bats, so you could like hit the other guys on the motorcycle,
and
just
kick
smash
them.
Yeah,
apparently.
see that? Showing John a little video of Road Rash. Yeah, see?
I see.
Road Rash was excellent for the Nintendo 64.
Wow.
Great game. Road Rash. Oh, Wally's saying that Road Rash was an old game for Sega, an old fake. I don't know.
And they probably just emulated it for the N64.
Yeah. Tremendous game. I really liked Road Rash. WWE Road Rash.
They had like some sort of racing game for WWE one time.
See, Wally played Road Rash. Look at it. Great game. Wally's right there with me. Me and Wally, we connect on many levels. My brother out there in Ireland. He's playing Road Rash too. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. What a great game. Road Rash. Good name for a game too. I'd play Road Rash today.
Wow. It's amazing. You have a Switch. I'd play the Switch, but okay.
Yeah. Switch is good too.
I hope.
So NXT TakeOver, it's like a standalone deal. And it's taking place tomorrow night in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Card is fantastic. Top to bottom. I think every match is like amazing.
Yeah. And it's not a very long show either. 5 matches.
It's the way it should be.
It'll be like 2 hours, right?
It's the way wrestling always should be.
I like it. Johnny Gargano defending the NXT title against Adam Cole. Shayna Baszler defending the NXT Women's title against Io Shirai. Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch take on the Street Profits, take on Undisputed Era, take on Forgotten Sons in a Fatal 4-Way ladder match for the vacant NXT Tag titles. That should be amazing. Velveteen Dream defending the NXT North American title against Tyler Breeze. And Matt Riddle one-on-one with Roderick Strong.
I think that's opening the show, is what they said.
That's a good match. Matt Riddle is excellent.
Should be hard-hitting, I imagine.
I'm very excited to see what happens to him in the next 3 years in WWE. Where does this guy go? How far do they take it? I mean, the WWE, I think, is going to be going through some changes in the next 2-3 years. AEW is going to force them to change, right?
It's already happened in a sense, but yeah.
Yeah. The Dean Ambrose thing, I mean. By the way, Dean Ambrose deciding to quit over Royal Rumble weekend and then doing this podcast exposing WWE and kind of making people look bad. Similar to CM Punk, who also quit over Royal Rumble weekend and then did a podcast that kind of blew up the internet.
History repeats.
Royal Rumble weekend is decision time for a WWE superstar, right? Because you kind of know, like, okay, here's a Rumble, here's who's winning. I don't really see where I'm going. My contract's up in a few months. I'm out of here. Royal Rumble is a good time to quit.
Wasn't Hogan like contemplating retirement too? I think around that time, 1 year.
Yeah.
Out of many years that he wrestled.
Yeah, exactly. So Hogan won't be on this show, but you never know. He might.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised to see Hogan in Saudi Arabia at least.
Oh, in Saudi Arabia. No, I'm talking about the NXT TakeOver.
No, not so much.
Unlikely.
You get X-Pac maybe.
Maybe Pac. Just
Yeah.
in the crowd with his dog. Right?
Oh, yeah.
He goes everywhere with that dog, right? It's
I
like
think
a something dog, like a deal.
Was that the Hall of Fame too?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always with him then.
He's got like one of those deals where he brings a dog everywhere. I forget what they're called. What's it called? It's not a service dog. It's like an emotional support animal or something.
Oh, companion, whatever.
Yeah,
Like,
but like you're legally allowed to bring it anywhere.
nice.
I think X-Pac's got one of those deals. Anyways, Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong. You figure Riddle goes over, right?
Well, Riddle lost his last match to Velveteen, so I feel like he's got to get the comeback here if he's going to be a championship contender in anything. So, yeah, he's got to win. And Roderick Strong, seems like the Undisputed Era is falling apart a bit, so I feel this will continue their downfall.
Are they breaking up?
I don't know. Maybe they're just teasing something that's not going to break up, but
they all seem kind of mad at each other, right?
well, because Adam Cole, he didn't win, right? So, and if he doesn't win this time, I expect they'll have falling out of some kind.
So Riddle goes over here?
Yeah, I think so.
It would make sense to break up the Undisputed Era because they're 4 of the top guys in NXT, and it would make sense to have them kind of wrestle each other. You could do a lot of business with those guys over the next several weeks and months, right?
Well, I'd
A fatal 4-way between those guys would be awesome.
I don't know if I'd break up the tag team though, with Fish and Riley.
Yeah, they'll probably stick together. I guess, right?
I could see them win the ladder match actually, but I think maybe Strong and Cole might lose.
I'm not sure who's going to win that ladder match. That's a tough one.
It's very tough.
Undisputed Era would make sense. Like, it would make sense if they won the tag team titles, but Roderick Strong and Adam Cole lost their matches.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm kind of with that.
It's really tough because when you watch NXT, you got to take in the fact that they taped this like weeks ago. So they're not really like, oh, this is current NXT. It's really, they just taped it and these things happen. When they get to the actual date and the time, things may have changed. The landscape of NXT may have changed. Like in terms of like who's healthy and who's not healthy and what they want to go with.
Yeah, and decisions change all the time.
Completely.
So, yeah, it's kind of hard to tell what they're going to do, especially these titles are vacant. You don't really know.
Yeah.
They could go anywhere, because they could go in any different direction. NXT is a place where you want to push new people. The Undisputed Era are kind of the more established team in this match.
Yeah.
This might be an opportunity to give the belts to, like, the Street Profits or the Forgotten Sons, who I'm not that familiar with.
That was,
I don't really know the Forgotten Sons, Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler.
Wesley was with Murphy in the tag team before, so he is a former tag team champion.
Oh, he's the Blake and Murphy.
Right.
Right. So maybe them? Maybe make him an NXT tag team specialist type of guy. It's hard to tell this match, but I do expect it to be very good. You have 4 teams that are hungry. They're in NXT. They're in a ladder match. Titles on the line. It's a big show.
It'll be fun to watch.
I think it's going to be good. Hard to pick a winner, but if I had to, I'd go with the O'Reilly and Fish tag team.
Right.
So how about Velveteen Dream and Tyler Breeze?
This one's tough as well.
I like that Tyler Breeze has gone back to NXT. Wasn't doing anything on the main roster. Him and Fandango were a really good tag team. I guess Fandango's still injured, or
Yes. Yeah, he's hurt.
He's still hurt.
Yeah.
He's been hurt for a while. What's he got?
I think it's his shoulder.
Well, that could take a while. I guess they're just killing time, though, with Breeze down in NXT, waiting for Fandango to come back, or is this like a full run for Breeze in NXT? I'm not really sure, but I don't expect him to be the guy to beat Velveteen Dream. I think this is just kind of another victory, another defense, another high-profile match for Velveteen, beating a main roster guy.
It's tough because I feel Tyler Breeze was more over in NXT than any other time he was in WWE. So if they really wanted to make something of him, now's the time to do it. And you can move Velveteen up to the NXT Championship or maybe up to the main roster. So, and if you don't do it now, I don't know if you can really make something with Tyler Breeze. So if you make a title change, you should do it now.
I don't think they're going to.
Well, I'm expecting, obviously there'll be new tag team champions, right? And I'm expecting the women's title to change hands. So that's why I think Velveteen's going to remain champion, just because they probably aren't going to change too many titles.
I don't know if any titles change hands. I'm not really sure.
Well, we have new tag champs.
New tag team champions. I don't think Velveteen loses the title to Tyler Breeze.
Okay.
I don't think Shayna Baszler is going to lose to Io Shirai either. I mean, isn't Io Shirai on SmackDown? Why would she win the NXT women's title? Her and Kairi Sane are the Kabuki Warriors.
Well, it was Baszler that took out Kairi Sane, so it just makes sense in terms of the story for that to happen. And I just find Baszler, to me, should be on the main roster, like as soon as possible. And they need to start this by getting her up there, by ending her NXT feuds. So that's why I think she should drop the title. Plus, it feels like she always wins.
Yeah, but that's Shayna. She always wins.
Yeah, well, I think you can change that finally. You've built up Shirai, I think, enough.
But what's Shirai going to do as NXT Women's Champion? She's barely going to be there. If she's on SmackDown, you're just going to give up on that tag team? How do you do that?
Well, they're not really doing anything with the tag team. I think you can do it.
Not right now. Because, Shane McMahon's got to have TV time.
Drew Gulak was on NXT this week, I mean, people switch brands all the time, apparently, so.
Yeah, I guess.
They can make it work if they need to. I think they need Shayna Baszler on the main roster as soon as possible.
I think it would be good to have her on the main roster, but I don't think they're ready to bring her up yet.
Oh, that's terrible. They need her. Like, to me, she's more ready than Lacey Evans was.
I don't think they need her, though.
Oh, I think so.
She's too much of a force. Like, she's too big, almost, to bring to the main roster now. Because, like, it's Becky's time. You don't want to distract from that. Charlotte's still red hot. Like,
right.
I don't think there's really room for Shayna right now. I think if you brought Shayna up at this point, she'd be lost in the shuffle, and that's not good for Shayna. I think when you bring her up for a real reason. I don't see her coming up anytime soon. NXT needs her more than the main roster does.
I think,
like, for me, her match is the main event.
It's one of the big matches, yeah.
That's my number one match. The Shayna matches are always my favorite matches on any NXT TakeOver. Without Shayna's match on this card, I'm not thrilled. Like, it's not the best. Shayna Baszler and Io Shirai? Tremendous.
Right. I don't disagree how it'll be a great match, but
I don't see room for Shayna on the main roster. They're already trying to make new wrestlers. You know, they're already trying to make Nikki Cross into something. They're trying to make Lacey Evans into something. Introducing Shayna now, I think, would be a little bit jumping the gun. I think you can wait until maybe after SummerSlam at least. Have her drop the title at the SummerSlam takeover in Toronto and then show up on Raw on Monday night if you want to. That, I think, could work. But give Becky and everybody the summer. Let's give us the summer to build Lacey into somebody somewhat credible. Let's get Nikki Cross to a higher level before you start introducing new characters. Because as it is, there are a lot of characters in the women's division that are going unseen and really unused. Like Dana Brooke had a little bit. She had a little deal for a couple of weeks. She was in Money in the Bank and now disappeared again. Like, that's not fair. They need to work on what they have before bringing up new people.
When I look when I look at Raw, I just find there's not a strong opposition for Becky, and she needs a strong challenger, and Shayna would be that. She needs a strong match. Yeah, there's Charlotte on SmackDown, but it seems like Becky's mainly going to be on Raw now. It seems Bayley and Charlotte, that's going to be a thing. I think Becky needs someone who she can really rival against, who you think she would lose to, and have matches that you really want to see. I think Shayna's that person, especially because Becky was the one who took out Ronda. So then Shayna's going to get her back. It just, to me, it writes itself. That's what SummerSlam needs to be.
I don't think we've done enough Bayley versus Becky.
Yeah, I don't know if I really want to see it.
I don't think Becky 2 belts has run its course.
It shouldn't have ran its course already, but it did, unfortunately.
Not necessarily. You could give her the belt back.
It'll be awkward with Bayley, though. Like,
I don't think so. I think the match would be great.
Some people don't want to see that, though. They want Bayley to lose.
Well, fine. So Bayley's the heel and Becky's the babyface. That's fine.
They had a chance. They blew it. They didn't do it.
I disagree. You gotta come back to that. You gotta revisit Becky versus Bayley. Maybe make Bayley 2 belts and then Becky 2 belts. Pass them back and forth. I would do a few of these matches where you put both belts on the line. You only have one of these matches per pay-per-view. It's Becky versus Bayley, both titles on the line. You have Bayley win them, shocking everybody.
It would be.
It would be shocking. Bayley 2 belts all of a sudden. And then, Becky wins in the revenge match and Becky 2 belts again. And then you separate the belts come SummerSlam or even further into September, October. I would do Bayley, Becky for the rest of the summer. That's what I would do.
The problem is you're forgetting about Charlotte, and you can't just not have Charlotte in the title picture. Cause
her and Lacey should be a tag team.
Well, they had their issues on SmackDown, so I don't know if that's going to happen.
Well, they need to be a tag team that fights. Remember when Charlotte had Dana Brooke?
Right.
She always used to beat up Dana Brooke, but then the next week Dana Brooke was always there with her.
Dana took it because Dana was like an ad.
Well, Lacey will take it too.
No, I don't think so.
Shut up, Lacey. Take it. All right? Charlotte's going to beat you up. You deal with it. She's Charlotte Flair. She's the queen. Who are you? You're Lacey Evans.
Tea time is over with them, I think.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I'd give Charlotte a tag team partner and give her the tag team belts and let her have a run with that. Well, Iconics aren't doing anything. They haven't defended the belt since WrestleMania.
No, the tag team titles are a joke.
Yeah, they're a joke. So make them credible. Give them to Charlotte. Charlotte 2 belts. Make her the tag team champions by herself. Everybody 2 belts. Who cares? Let's have some fun. Make things interesting. Switch things up. Give Charlotte the 24/7 title. That's what she can do for the next, you want to find something for her to do? She can beat R-Truth. How hard can that be? Elias did it.
And then lost it back, but yeah.
Yeah, well, if Elias can do it, anybody can do it.
I highly expect Bayley and Charlotte. I just don't think they drop that. You know Charlotte always gets the rematch. Always. You can't deny it.
I'm denying it. I can deny whatever I want. Let's get to the rest of the card here. Hey, just one more match.
It was pretty quick.
Yeah, it's easy,
Fantastic.
right? 5 matches. You gonna watch it? We watching it together? What's the plan?
I don't know. We'll see.
All right, we'll talk. Johnny Gargano defending the NXT title against Adam Cole. I could see Adam Cole taking it.
The thing is, a lot of people found this was like the greatest match in NXT history. And for a lot of people, that means the greatest match in WWE history. I thought it was good.
I thought it was pretty good. I didn't think it was the best match even on the card.
No, I don't remember thinking it was either. But there were some great spots.
This was in the New York show before Mania, right?
Before Mania, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I thought Walter and Pete Dunne was really good. Velveteen Dream and Matt Riddle was incredible. I think I preferred those matches over the Gargano-Cole match. People really like Adam Cole.
And Gargano. I get it.
Is this for the NXT title or the 205 Live title? Because these guys are small.
Right. It's NXT title.
But these two guys wrestling each other for a heavyweight title, it's kind of like, yeah. Are you over 205 pounds? Do you think either of them are over 205 pounds?
No.
They are not big guys. Johnny Gargano is not a big guy, and neither is Adam Cole.
Well, it just goes to show you don't need to be a big guy to be a good wrestler.
They're good wrestlers.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I believe them as, like, top.
Gargano was on the main roster for a little bit.
He was?
Remember? Like he was.
Yeah. He looked very small.
Very small, but he was wrestling.
That match him and Ciampa had against Sheamus and Cesaro, they looked like...
Yeah, they look small, but...
They looked a little too small for the style they wrestle.
I know, but
it's
they
not
were
that
there.
believable, you know?
Maybe that's why it didn't last.
Well, no, it didn't last because Ciampa got hurt.
Unfortunate.
And they needed Gargano back in NXT.
Maybe fortunate. Possibly.
I could see them giving Adam Cole the belt, though. Like, he's a good wrestler. I'm just not sold on him being the future of the company.
The NXT title changes hands way too many times. I say keep it on Gargano for a little bit. We don't need a title change right now. I personally think it should be Velveteen, should be the next champion, but
yeah,
I don't know if they're going to go down that route either.
Velveteen, Matt Riddle, those guys, like, they're very good wrestlers. They have the character down, and they have size. They really have everything you need. Like, Riddle's not a huge guy, but he's pretty big.
Well, and he's legit.
Yeah, but he fought in the UFC at 170 pounds.
He looks bigger than 170, wow.
Well, now, I mean, he probably walks around bigger than 170, but, I mean, CM Punk also fought in the UFC at 170 pounds.
Right. Well, I never thought he was 200, so I wasn't too surprised.
No, but CM Punk looks bigger than Gargano and
that's true.
Adam Cole, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like, if those guys fought in the UFC, it'd be like 135 pounds.
Yeah, probably.
You know?
Bantamweight, yeah.
Or maybe 145, maybe.
Possibly. I don't know about Adam Cole, but yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like a different level.
No, you're right. For sure.
Not to say I don't like them and I'm not going to enjoy their match. I think they're good wrestlers. You know, I enjoy the best of the Super Juniors in New Japan.
Right.
But I don't believe in, say, a guy like Bushi beating Kazuchika Okada. The size difference, you know.
Right.
Shingo Takagi, on the other hand, that guy's huge. How is that guy under 100 kilos? Shingo Takagi.
I haven't seen him. I don't know.
No? He's big.
Take your word for it.
Big cruiserweight. Will Ospreay, too, is getting pretty thick.
I thought La Parka was always huge, so.
Yeah, but he was a luchador. He wasn't a cruiserweight.
He fought for the cruiserweight title.
Yeah, they just threw every luchador in the cruiserweight title. They're like, yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter how big you are. If you flip around, you're a cruiserweight.
Okay.
Yeah. That wouldn't work today. Because everybody flips around, right? Even the heavyweights or the super heavyweights.
It's the main event of Raw this week.
Was it?
Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're bigger. I mean, they're not huge guys, but they're bigger than, Adam Cole.
They're more light heavy.
Like Seth Rollins is not like a super heavyweight, but he's he's not Brock,
Right.
but he's kind of like in between, like an Adam Cole and a Brock Lesnar,
Yeah. 205.
Yeah. Well, Sammy too. But they look about right.
Well, they've also been given a lot more, too. Over the years, they've had some big matches with some of the biggest stars in the company, so it's more believable because they've gone toe-to-toe with some of the greats. That helps when you get that rub.
Yes, indeed. All right, John, what do we got?
90 days?
Yeah, let's get to it.
Is Andy watching?
I don't know. 90 Day Fiancé.
You caught a bit of it.
I caught a bit of it, and I've kind of caught up on a few episodes. I've skipped through some things. I haven't loved this season. I'm kind of bored with a lot of the couples. Colty and Larissa and their dysfunction.
They're the best part of the show.
Are they, though?
Oh, yeah, without question.
I saw some Ashley stuff. Ashley's a mess. Ashley and Jay.
It's a mess. Like, who cares?
Ashley, who's like 30-something.
32.
Yeah, in Pennsylvania, and Jay is 20 years old and Jamaican, and they got married, and then a couple days later, she found out he was on Tinder.
Right.
And he claims he was just bored and looking for someone to talk to, and she doesn't believe him.
I wouldn't believe him.
Well, no, I mean, I don't believe him either, but I mean, whatever, but she's got to either make up her mind or do something. Like,
right.
She's saying, okay, well, he wants to stay with her. He wants his green card.
Or he wants a green card.
He wants to stay married. He wants to stay with her, right? But she's like, oh, I don't know. So he's still living in her house. They're still kind of together, but she's like not being very nice to him and going off and doing her own thing and just still kind of leaving him in this limbo where he doesn't know what to do. And then she goes out. She's like out. She went to New York City or something. She's
with
like
her friends.
With her friends. She's gone. She's partying. What do you think Jay's doing at home? He's back on Tinder. Like, what do you think he's doing?
Well, that's the
You're
next.
leaving him idle.
That's the next episode. Is that she goes there and is like, "What have you been up to?" And he's like, "Oh, it's your phone." Like, "Oh, you deleted everything." He's like, "Oh, I wish I had something to delete on my phone." So.
Okay, yeah, well, whatever. I mean, they're dysfunctional. That's not working out. She needs to figure it out. She also needs to stop, like, calling the girl that Jay was talking to on Tinder. Like, she has her phone number somehow, and she's calling her and asking her questions.
Kind of creepy, yeah.
It's super creepy. And Ashley's telling her friend, she's like, Jay, this girl, she's like, in high school or just graduated high school. And she's like, how terrible is that? And I'm like, well, I don't know. Jay's 20. This girl is graduating high school. So in the States, you're like 18.
Right.
18 and 20 seems about right. You're 32 and he's 20. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know. I'm well aware of this.
I mean, I was like watching this. I was like, oh, Ashley, you're an idiot. Idiot, just so dumb. So yeah, that's a bad scene. Larissa is from Brazil and Colty is in Las Vegas and they're married and the mother lives with them and Larissa has children in Brazil that I guess her father is taking care of.
That's what she says.
And what does she want to do about that?
Well, she had to tell Debbie this week.
Okay.
Because Debbie didn't know, and then Debbie kind of...
But Colt knew.
Colt knew the whole time.
Colt knew the whole time that she had kids, and Debbie didn't know Colt's mother.
Right.
Okay.
So then there was a whole, like, oh, can I trust you kind of thing after that? Because you couldn't tell me something like that beforehand.
Debbie needs to get out, live her own life, and stop being such an emotional wreck all the time. She's always crying and freaking out. I understand why Larissa's upset. I'd be upset living with Debbie. She seems really annoying. She's like almost more annoying than Colty, who's really annoying.
Well, now...
He's gross.
He doesn't like his lines.
I'm on Team Larissa and Team Jay. And Team Pedro. I'm rarely on the American side of things.
Pedro isn't the American, but...
That's what I'm saying. I'm rarely on the American side of things.
American side. You should
Jay, Jay from Jamaica, Pedro from the Dominican, and Larissa from Brazil. I'm on their team. I'm not really on Team Andre, although maybe I am. I don't like that lady.
It doesn't really matter between those two.
They're the most boring couple of the season. No one cares about them. Get them off the show.
And Russ decided not to take the job because Powell doesn't like living in Oklahoma. So
makes sense.
Well,
she hates living in Oklahoma, and Russ's parents are like really weird with Powell. They don't like
cleavage.
They're not very nice. All right, they're just not very welcoming people. They're not welcoming her into the family. She doesn't feel comfortable, and they're not doing much to make her feel comfortable.
Well, Russ is pretty much just going to move back to Miami because that's what she wants, so he's caving in.
Good.
So there's not much going on with them, too, as well, when you think about it.
No, they're super boring.
Yeah. So, I mean, Larissa and Colt, they're really carrying the show. They're the most exciting part.
Well, Pedro and Chantal, right? Pedro's really upset.
Pedro was great this week.
You know, Pedro got into a big fight with Chantal's family, and Chantal is blaming Pedro for it for some reason, even though it's all her parents' and stupid brother's fault.
Man, Chantal's parents this week, amazing.
They're the worst.
Amazing
I didn't see that stuff. I haven't seen it.
Just saying that she needs security and needs to change her bank account now. You can't trust this guy.
Right.
He got a taste of he harvested the American dollar. And now he's going back to show to all his friends what he did, what big shot he is now. So much hatred. It's amazing.
Yeah. They're awful people. I hope Pedro finds a nice Dominican girl.
He did.
Good.
Threw the ring, or they took the ring off his finger.
Perfect.
And put it in a drink.
Pedro deserves better.
But Chantal's coming, though.
Oh, God. Poor Pedro. I just feel bad for him. These people have been so terrible to him. Also not welcoming. A lot of the American families are very, mean to the spouses.
I think it's going to get kind of mean when Chantal gets there and finds out what Pedro was up to. I think it might get kind of violent.
What did he get up to?
A lot of dirty dancing, in my opinion.
So dancing.
Dirty dancing.
So he did some greasy dancing.
Swayze style.
Okay. That's it?
Yeah. Well, it was pretty bad, though. I mean, I think if Chantal saw it, she'd be very upset.
Deal with it, Chantal. I don't really care. I don't care about her feelings, all right? Team Pedro all day, every day.
It's a tough one, that one. I understand his concern, but, Chantal's not completely in the wrong here.
No, I think she is.
All right, well.
I think she definitely is. She's not siding with her husband when her family's being horrible to him.
She loves her family. That's the thing.
They're horrible. They're being horrible to Pedro. They have been since day one.
Pedro could have been nicer to her brother.
Her brother could have been nicer to him.
Yeah.
Her brother was weird. Sideshow Bob looking ass.
Sideshow Bob. His big feet, too.
His hair, man.
I know it's there.
I just want him to step on a rake and go, you know? You know that thing where he's stepping on all the rakes? Classic Sideshow Bob. Well, and Nicole and Azin, what's the story there?
Nothing's really happening again. Azin's nowhere to be seen.
Azin's in Morocco, and Nicole's trying to figure out some country that'll allow him in so they can get married there.
And it ends with, she goes off in a room. The producer's like, Nicole, and she just shuts the door and, gives him the hand. And, so something bad's going on because she's on the phone.
With Azin?
I think so. I don't know if he was kissing another girl or something, but something bad's going on again. So.
Yeah.
It's a mess. That's really a mess.
It is a mess.
Sad.
Unbelievable. All right, Johnny. You want to wrap this thing up? Dave and Johnny Live has been super long today. That's what happens when you talk about professional wrestling. Things get out of hand.
And other things.
That was 90 Day Fiance. You know what I'm saying? That was our 90 Day... Oh, there it is. 90 Day Fiance.
Talking.
What else we got, Johnny?
Well, what are people saying? Final comments?
You want to see some final comments? All right, final comments, everybody. Wally says he was thinking of the rake thing with Sideshow Bob. Antoinette says, who cares? She is married. Have respect for him. She can marry her family then. Pedro's happy without her. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. She's married to Pedro. The family should be more welcoming and nicer to their daughter's husband.
I can't think of any family that's really been supportive of any couple on this show. I mean, something you kind of have to expect almost.
Some of the families have been supportive, but they usually only last one season because there's no drama and it's not that exciting.
So you kind of need that to last on this show.
Yes. Be rude if you want to, yeah.
I'm telling you, on the new show that's going to happen, the other way, like I expect there's going to be a lot of problems with the families. Because it's the Americans going there instead to all the different countries. That's going to be interesting. I imagine there's going to be tons of problems with families.
Yeah, that'll be fun, though. It'll be a little bit of a different twist, right? Because it'll be Americans going to those countries to, what, get married?
Or if I think some of them have already gotten married too before.
So they're going to live there.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be fun. And a little taste of their own medicine.
Well, it's going to be a lot, though, because you have, Happily Ever After and The Other Way. It's a lot.
A lot of 90 Day Fiancé, and I'm barely watching it as it is.
It's crazy how this world has evolved where I'm watching more than he is. It's insane.
It is weird. I have wrestling to watch.
I am
Best of the Super Juniors. You should get a subscription to New Japan World. It's excellent. You're going to watch Dean Ambrose versus Juice Robinson for the U.S. title next Wednesday?
Not excited for that whatsoever.
I'm going to watch it. I predict Ambrose will take the title from Juice.
So you
the flamboyant Juice Robinson.
You expect then he'll be obviously in New Japan for quite some time then.
I think he's going to do the big shows for a little while, yeah. Jericho had a short run with the Intercontinental title. He defended it once.
All right.
And then he lost it to Naito.
But I felt he was there for like a good year at least.
He did 4 matches.
But he did all the big shows though, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, that's all you really need to do. If you're a Jericho or a John Moxley type, right? You only have to work every now and again. But Jericho's going to wrestle June 9th against Okada. That's next weekend. Oh, that's exciting.
It's crazy, though. I mean, if it's going to be next weekend, and if they haven't promoted him to be there, and you expect him he's going to be there, you think they would promote that?
Who, Moxley?
Yeah.
Well, Moxley's going to be on the June 5th show, the Best of the Super Juniors final.
Mm-hmm.
And I would assume that he'll also be on the June 9th show because, you're going all the way to Japan. You're advertised for the June 5th show. Why not also show up June 9th?
It might just be like a run-in, though. Maybe they're already booked, and that's why they didn't book him in that kind of show.
Let me see if there's a card up for Dominion 2019.
Well, you know the main event already.
We know the main event, but no, Ambrose or Moxley or whatever isn't booked for Dominion yet. But we'll see what happens June 5th at the Best of the Super Juniors final, because I wouldn't be surprised to see him added on that card, because that card, it's like one of the biggest shows of the year for New Japan, and They only have 3 matches announced so far. So they're going to add some stuff. Okada defending the IWGP Heavyweight title against Chris Jericho. Kota Ibushi defending the IWGP Intercontinental title against Tetsuya Naito. And Taichi defending the never open weight title against Tomohiro Ishii, the Stone Pitbull.
Oh, it's good so far.
Very good so far. That alone is better than most wrestling shows.
Well, this will be more likely 10 matches, though.
You put Naito and Ibushi on any card, really, one-on-one, that's solid. That's a good 30 minutes that you won't see anywhere else. Those 2 guys in the ring are magic together. I'm happy that we get to see them wrestle again.
Well,
they wrestled at the Garden Show, and they're going to wrestle again here.
That's cool, but for me, it's Jericho to see what he can do against Okada.
Oh, yeah.
That's the selling point right there.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Naito and Ibushi. Just saying it's great every time. Jericho and Okada kind of goes without saying. That's the match that's bringing you in, right?
It could just be that match. That's it.
Jericho and Okada.
Wow.
It's kind of amazing that it's happening, right?
A little bit, yeah.
It's like a dream match. You're like, wow, I can't believe they're actually doing this.
It really is, yeah.
June 9th, Dominion. You're going to watch it?
Maybe not live, but I'll see it.
All right. Well, you could come over here and watch it on New Japan World. All right, Johnny North. That's Dave and Johnny Live. Check us out, Wrestling Uncensored. We'll be back here on the YouTube channel very soon. Right?
Sooner than you think.
Sooner than you... yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe tomorrow morning.
Well, that's it. Just pop up there.
Yeah.
It popped up like on last Saturday, didn't it? Like.
Yeah, that's right. Did you notice that?
I noticed that. You tweeted it.
A little bit early. A little bit of a surprise.
It's all right.
Wrestling Uncensored came out early this week, exclusively on the YouTube channel. The video version came out before the podcast.
So there you go.
And even
never know.
before the radio show.
You never know when it pops up.
Yeah, so do watch the YouTube space, the YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll get the alerts whenever the new shows are up there. Because, yeah, Wrestling Uncensored was up Saturday morning this week. Usually everybody has to wait till Sunday morning to get the show, but if you're on YouTube, you were able to watch it Saturday morning.
I think
Bonus.
Wally made a mention that I think it's Champions League finals this week, so people might be busy watching that.
Okay.
Especially Andy, because I know it's his team going for it.
Right. The Champions League final is Saturday afternoon. It's the same time as the UFC show from Stockholm, Gustafsson and Smith, right?
Oh, I didn't realize that. Wow.
Yeah.
Big weekend.
There it is. Big weekend. Things always happening. No NXT post show. All right. We're not doing that. Not this weekend.
All right.
Are we?
It's up to you.
Well, maybe we'll do a surprise one. We'll see. We'll see. You'll see. All right? We'll talk.
I have to keep tuning in for the YouTube page, I guess.
That's right. Subscribe, like, and all that. See ya.
Bye.